Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 9 of our Let's Play series for Football Manager 2016. This time around, the first thing we're going to do is jump in and have a look at some of our training. So it does take a few months to sort of like for any sort of major changes to actually sort of occur in terms of attributes and things like that. So we're into sort of November now, so we should have had some decent progress. So we'll jump through and see how everyone is going. Mr. Diedrich here, we're going to leave him as he is at the moment. If a couple of his physical stats are starting to decline, there's not really a whole lot I can do about that. He's obviously 35, so that's going to happen naturally. Sillerson, he's had a few progress, a bit of progress here, and then we're going to jump into his training. We can see the areas he's been trained on here haven't particularly improved all that much. If we have a look at acceleration, where are we? There. So I'm not quite sure why it's not showing up here for some reason, guys. I'm wondering whether this is a bit of a bug. So none of these stats are showing up here. Attribute changes. And they should be showing up here. Anyway, I suspect that could potentially be a bug. We've definitely had enough time. I should have had four little points here that should have shown up. So what we're going to do, actually sort of just run into it. The first time I realised that, actually, by the way. So we're actually going to sort of just run it from here, have a look in terms of, we actually see it from this screen here. So we're training his acceleration. So we've got quickness on it. I think I'm probably actually going to change that back to something else now. Obviously his acceleration and pace look like they're coming up a little bit, but given that he's at the top of his game anyway, he's not really going to get a whole lot of improvement. So it's probably a little bit of a silly choice by me, but I was trying something a little bit different. So what we're actually going to do is put him onto, I think onto his kicking probably. I think probably the kicking is the best one. So it's only 11 at the moment. Given we're sort of been playing out from the back a lot, we're actually putting back onto kick, or put him onto kicking. So should be interesting. Johnny Heininger has actually had a bit of progress here, which is good. He's a bit of progress on his acceleration and pace, which is quite good. So that's his individual attribute here. So basically did that to hopefully sort of slow a little bit of the decline. So if these sort of start coming up a little bit, as we can see here, should be here somewhere. A little bit hard to see because obviously these ones here are only the like the general position role settings, and we can't actually sort of see the additional focuses because they're not sort of showing up in this screen. So anyway, that's cool. We're going to leave him on there. I haven't had a huge major change. I don't think there's any real reason to change it. Kenny T, how's Kenny T going? Had some good progress here. Concentration, marking, what else? Stamina, and a few other things have come up, which is good to see. Determination, strength. So he's having some good progress. Obviously only 19 still. He's doing quite well. His actually stamina is still his individual trait. Why don't you leave it there, because he does actually run out of steam fairly quickly in games, and he does have to sort of get replaced quite a bit. And you can see he gets quite jaded because he does get sort of run down quite a bit. So when keeping him on his stamina, I'd like to get up to it probably at least 15. 15 should be enough to make sure that he can sort of run out games properly. Van Ryn's had quite a sort of disrupted game. Hasn't played a huge amount of games either, so he hasn't really had any progress. So leave him there. Riedewald, he's done pretty well. He's had some good progress on his game, so his strength has actually bumped up. Looks like probably, a bit hard to see from here, at least probably 1 or 2, maybe probably 1 point, which is good. So looks like he's starting to make some progress on his other stats and stuff as well. So his additional focus is his strength, which is obviously why it's come up the most. How old is he? He's only 19, isn't he? I'm thinking I may drop that back a little bit. Obviously, strength is a good stat for a central defender to have, but given he's only 19, I would probably expect it to come up a little bit more anyway, with his development. So I think I may change that back. What is the best thing to go and put him onto? Probably either positioning or marking, I suspect, is going to be the best for him. His physical stats are generally pretty good. Reach, jumping reach, and heading and all stuff. Jumping reach is good. Heading's average, but it's okay. I'm thinking positioning, actually, to be honest. I think positioning is probably the best one. Excuse me. To get up to 15 at least, hopefully. So we're going to put him onto positioning. See if we can get some good progress there. So, Vagiva, he's probably not going to have a whole lot of development because he is obviously 26, so we've done all of his development. Jump into his training. He's had a few little sort of increases here and there. His marking's come up. Passing's had a little bit of progress, which is good to see. Very frustrating we can't see this one properly. I assume I'm not doing something wrong, am I? No. Anyway, alright, so here's a bit of progress. Probably leave him on there at the moment. I don't think there's probably any real point putting him onto anything else. Veltman, how's Veltman going? So he should have a little bit of development left in him. And cool, so his additional one is strength. He hasn't actually had any progress on strength, but he has improved in terms of jumping, reach, tackling, what else? Heading. So some good sort of defending stats there as well. Bravery and things like that. So he has had some good progress there. I think we're going to probably leave him on to strength at the moment. Because he can be a little bit lightweight at times. If he comes up against some really sort of big, strong defenders, he can be a little bit lightweight. So I think we're going to leave him on strength just for hopefully up to like at least probably another point, because his positioning's good. All of his mentals and stuff are really quite good, like composure, concentration, decisions, anticipation. Most of his physicals are fine. He's quick enough, and obviously he's good tackling, fairly good marking, passing's okay, heading's okay. So I think probably strength, 1 point of strength, then we may put him back over to marking, just get marking up a little bit better as well. So we'll leave him there. Mr. Richard Lee here, how's he going? Yeah, definitely had some progress. Hasn't had a huge amount of progress actually. His additional focus is position. He hasn't made any progress there. Has gone up on marking, passing, flair. Yeah, a few things here and there. Concentration, composure. See a few things down here actually have come up. So he's starting to have some decent progress. He's got a fair bit of development left in him. Bollison's a little bit all over the place. He has been very disrupted in terms of training. He has a number of sort of niggling injuries here and there. So some stuff's gone up, some stuff's gone down. He's actually marking's gone down, which is a little bit disappointing. Off the ball's gone down as well. Concentration, first touch, long shots, acceleration, stamina's all come up. Yeah, I'm wondering whether we should put him on a different role than a complete wing-back. Because obviously he's a very offensive-minded one. Like his positioning's not great, his marking stuff isn't great either. So he definitely is a sort of an offensive one. Like composure and concentration aren't great either. So he's not the most amazing defender in the world. So it's probably, I don't think it's really worth putting him onto like defensive training at the moment. I think it's probably just better to maximize his stats. So like he hasn't gone down in tackling technique a little bit, which is a bit of an issue. I don't think we can really sort of have a go at him for like training levels, because he has gone up in some stats. So I'm going to guess that if we did that, he could get quite annoyed at us. So I'm thinking it's probably just injuries, and we'll sort of just have to leave it for another couple of months, and hopefully that sort of fixes it up. Dykes has done pretty well. His positioning, anticipation, concentration, marking have all come up, so some good stats for him there. He's doing pretty well. Most of his physicals are fairly good. Stamina's okay, but good to get up probably another point. Maybe even acceleration, potentially, but not really. Off the ball's fairly good. Off the positioning could be a little bit better. Marking, passing, tackling are acceptable. So his additional focus is positioning. I think we're going to leave it there. It would be good to get up to 11, get up 1 point, and then we'll probably switch it back to other stuff. Because he's obviously an offensive-minded one as well, which is not a problem because we are like obviously an attacking team. Yeah. So Serrero has actually done really, really well, which is quite interesting because he's 25, so we wouldn't have thought he would have had a whole lot of development left in him. But obviously like teamwork, technique, vision, passing, first touch, it's all come up. So actually quite pleasing there. His additional focus is passing, which has actually come up, I should say. Don't think it's come up a full point yet. It's probably not too far away though. Probably another month or two, and it should. If he keeps going on this progress, he will actually go up. So it's actually quite good for us. So he's obviously got a lot of good points, but he has got quite a lot of weaknesses as well. So yeah, so that's good for us. So we're just going to leave him there for the moment. Nemanja G, how's you going? You're going fairly well, I think, actually. Had a lot of games anyway, so your decisions actually have jumped up a full point, which is awesome to see. Vision, passing, first touch have all come up. So additional focus is passing. Where's passing? There's passing in there. So it has starting to come up a little bit here. That's passing there. Yeah, so that is good. So I think we're going to leave it on passing. It would be good to get him up to 15 because he's sort of a little, like his physicals are fine for the moment. I don't think they need to be any better than that really. He's fairly strong, got a lot of stamina. He's quick enough. A lot of his mentals are actually really quite good as well. Positioning off the ball could be a little bit better potentially. I don't think it's really worth it because he's got really good teamwork and work rate, and he's basically mainly playing the box-to-box role. He does play sort of defensive mid sometimes, but he's not going to be there. He's not going to be our long-term first choice for that because his positioning is not good enough. And obviously like his marking and tackling aren't good enough either. So he's basically going to be the box-to-box guy. So I'm pretty happy to leave his positioning off the ball as they are and probably focus on his passing. And get that up another point would be awesome to see. Davy Clarkson. So how's Davy going? Davy. Had a lot of little niggling injuries as well. So he has come up on a few things. Long shots, anticipation, work rate starting to come up. What else? First touch, technique. So his additional is passing, which hasn't made any progress yet. Not really too worried about that. We're going to leave it on passing. I really want him to get up to another level of passing because it would really complement his stats. His physicals don't need to change at all. Technique, yeah, it could be good if we get up, but I think I'm going to actually rather on passing. We'll get up passing up to 15 and then probably put up his technique. Off the ball, off the ball, excuse me, is really, really good. All his mentals are fantastic. So just needs a little bit of work on the technical side of things, and he'll be an absolute gun. El Ghazi should be doing fairly well. So his additional focus is quickness, getting a little bit of progress on acceleration, dribbling, technique. What have we got here? Stamina, acceleration. Technique, pace, yeah, so all this stuff's kind of starting to come up. I think I'm going to leave it as it is at the moment. Yeah, I don't think there's probably a real point changing. I do want him to be quicker. He needs to be a little bit quicker if he's going to be probably an inside forward, potentially a striker. I don't think he's really going to be a long-term first choice striker, but he's only 20, so he should have a fair bit of development left in him. So, I mean, Yunus, very interesting player, very, very quick, fantastic dribbling, first touch, all that kind of stuff, but his mentals and stuff are absolutely rubbish. Decisions, some of them are coming out though, which is quite pleasing to see. So we've got pace, decisions, composure, finishing, long shots, all that kind of stuff is coming up. What else? Vision. Yeah, so a lot of his mentals are coming up, which is probably quite good. If we get round those off a little bit, it's going to make him a far better player. I don't think he's going to be a long-term player for us, to be perfectly honest. What was his individual one actually? Finishing. Yeah, we're going to leave him on finishing. It would be good to get up a little point or two. Do you think we can tutor you actually, can we? We can. Alassa Shone. It would be actually good to get a good tutor from him. Don't really want to use preferred move though. We don't want an inside forward to actually dwell on the ball or try and play their way out of trouble. So we're going to come back and see if we can actually do the off the pitch. I don't know why Lassa doesn't want to tutor people. We had this problem last time. He just didn't want to tutor anyone. Alright, so we went assertive and he said, so I don't think their personalities aren't going to work, so I'm actually just going to say, I'm just going to ignore it, because they could have a falling out. So it's unfortunate that we can't get Armin tutored, because it would have been good to get some of his things up, his mentals up, but that's life. Victor Fisher has done really quite well, so his long shots have come up. First touch, what else we got? Vision, decisions, passing, composure, so it had quite a bit of progress, which is really good to see. His additional focus is off the ball. I think I'm going to leave it there for another point. Most of his physicals are okay. He doesn't really need to be all that strong for an inside forward. He's really good dribbling, first touch, technique. Passing doesn't really need to be any better, but would be good to get some off the ball, just so he makes a little bit better movements, in attacking moves, and gets into some better positions and makes himself available for some really good killer through balls and for examples like that. So that's I think we're going to get him up to probably another point or two of off the ball, and then maybe some finishing. Maybe with some composure as well. Probably the best things for him. We'll leave him at the moment. Mr. Nari. Oh, excuse me, guys. Rightio, Mr. Nari. He's on Nuri, it's not really Nari, it's probably Abdul Haq Nuri. Anyway, his additional focus is quickness. Hasn't really made any progress there. Inside forward role. He's made quite a bit of progress in terms of vision, passing, off the ball, anticipation, a little bit in finishing. So he's doing really quite well. His off the ball is quite good. His physicals are obviously decent. Would be good if he get a little bit quicker as an inside forward. His off the ball is fairly good. Passing is good. First touch dribbling's okay. His finishing needs some work. Composure will need a little bit of work as well. But for the moment, I think we're doing pretty well there. Lassa Shone hasn't really done anything at all. So his additional focus is finishing. He's made a little bit of progress on passing and flair, which is okay, I guess. He's not really going to make any progress from now on because obviously he's 29, so I'm just going to leave him as it is. Daily. Dropped a few stats recently because he has been injured for a little while. He's been injured for 3 or 4 weeks, I think. He did make some progress early on in terms of vision, passing, technique. So he'll be fine once he gets back into the swing of things. And Milik has done quite well, played a lot of games, so he's made progress in first touch. What else we got here? Long shots, off the ball. What else is there I can see? Dribbling, it's passing. And it can be hard to see some of these stats sometimes. What's that one? I can't see it. Anyway, it's obviously done quite well. Concentration, a few different stats there. Additional focus is off the ball. I'm actually going to leave that. It's only 13. His physicals are probably as good as they need to be. His finishing's obviously very good. Composure could do a little bit of work, but I think off the ball, off the ball is a very, very important stat. Like for me anyway, personally, I find that off the ball is very, very important in terms of attacking moves and sort of the football that we want to be playing, the sort of the Ajax way in terms of like, you know, possession, but lots of movement when guys are in possession off the ball. So they open up lots of different lines and gaps and all that kind of stuff. Constantly moving the opposition around. So that's why I like to, you know, train up the off the ball stat a little bit more. Alright guys, I spent probably 15 minutes talking about that, so apologies if you didn't really find all that useful. We didn't really change a whole lot, so that's fun. I'm just going to pause the video. I'm actually going to run through the B team and under 19 off camera because you guys probably don't really need to see me do all of this. This is going to take a little bit of time. I may sort of just do a little bit of a recap. So, yep, I'll jump to that and we'll be back in a tick, guys. Alright guys, and we're back. So I've been through the B team and the under 19s and checked all their stats. Changed a few here and there. I haven't changed too many yet. Probably needs a couple another month or two of some game time. So probably early in the next year, maybe sort of February, maybe late January, early February, we'll sort of jump back in and do it all again. So just keep an eye on them. Alrighty guys, we can keep jumping through. How's our schedule looking? So we've got a game against SC Canberra in 12 days. So I'm actually going to pause the video again and we'll jump ahead to that game and yep, so that would be good. And then we've got a game against Dinamo Kiev after that. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to skip through the game against Canberra. It's a home game against a 10th place team. Hopefully we should get a fairly decent result there. I'm actually going to skip through and we'll pick it up the video next on game day against Dinamo Kiev and see how we go there. So I'll see you all soon. Welcome back everyone, and it's game day against Dinamo Kiev. We had a fairly routine 1-0 victory against SC Canberra, as you can see here. They actually sat back quite a bit, and it took us quite a while to actually break them down. So, made a few little tactical changes in the second half, and we ended up getting the vital goal, which was good. So, we move on to the important game here. So, rested a few players last time around, so they should be fresh for this game. Kenny T is going to come back in. Boylison's going to jump in at left back. Heitinger and Veltman are going to stay. Heitinger is obviously one yellow card away from a suspension. We actually gave Silas a rest as well, just to give Mr. Diedrich a bit of match sharpness and stuff there. Fisher's going to come in at left. Shoney's going to start on the right again. Clarkson's going to start in centre mid because Sinkgraven's injured. Who else have we got here? I think Serrero's actually got to, yeah, needs a rest, I think. Should actually double check that, see if the last game counted. Thalani rest. Pleased to be given the rest for so we actually need to rest him. Unfortunately, which he was quite jaded. We actually asked him if he wanted to rest, and he said he did. So we're actually going to take him out of the team, and that should be okay. So we've got a few options for this. We can leave Bazaware, Mr. Richard Lee in there, I guess. Menu G is sort of down a little bit on conditioning, so is Richard Lee there. And so I think what we may do. One more spot left. I suppose it probably makes more sense to bring in probably Van Ryn actually, in case Kenny T gets a little bit injured. It's also another defensive guy there. So Vagiva can cover a few spots in there, so can Riedewald actually. So, alright guys, I think that's our formation. Just gonna double check, make sure it's all good. Back on. Alright guys, we're back into it, and I'm actually not going to make any opposition instructions to start with. Left Van Ryn out is due to recent injury problems. He's just been rested. So they're starting out with their standard formation, which is fine. So it's the same thing what we played against them last time. So we know what they're all about. Hopefully we can counter that. I'm not going to play any instructions to start with. We're just going to play our own game for a little while, see how it goes. Encourage them to go out there and prove a point. I'll go for that one, which seemed to work, which was quite good. Alrighty guys, I'm going to pause the video as usual, and we'll jump back into it either at the end of the game or halfway through once something interesting happens, so I'll see you all soon. Hey everyone, and we're back. So 1-0 defeat against Dinamo Kiev. It was actually a really very deserved defeat, so I'm actually not worried about that. And you can probably see here, and give you a bit of an indication of how the game went, that Silas was actually the man of the match in a losing losing team. So he did really well. Actually, probably captained this game. We probably should have lost by about 2 or 3. They were by far the better team, and deservedly so. So unfortunately, sometimes that happens, and yep, that's fine. Says that we should just say there was a lot of positives. Yeah, I don't really believe that. I'm just going to say I'm going to go with it though because it seems to work. But, yeah, alright, so we're still second in the group, so with one more game to go, and it's, I can't remember if it must be a game against, is it Wolfsburg at home? So we played Real Madrid at home. Ooh, dearie me. So we may actually still not make it through, which is interesting, because then if we're playing Real Madrid, it must mean that, oh no, we played Real Madrid, haven't we? Must be Wolfsburg at home. We played Dynamo Kiev at home, because we won, didn't I? I think we won that one. No, it was a draw, that one. We beat Real Madrid. Anyway, we'll have a look at it. Alright, so there's nothing too much interesting in there. Let me jump into here. Cool. Right, let's go schedule. What's our last game? It is Real Madrid at home. Oh, dearie me. So, that could be a problem. So, obviously Dynamo Kiev and Wolfsburg are playing. So it's Wolfsburg at home. So if they win, they come up to 7 points. We'll go through on goal difference unless they win by more than 5, so which I highly doubt. Dynamo Kiev have got a. If they draw, we'll still probably go through because of goal difference, or depending how we go, I guess. If we get a point, yeah, we need a win to guarantee. We could still go through with either a loss or a draw, actually, but it just depends on the other result. Oh, dearie me. All right, anyway. I think we've done all we can. We've played as well as we can. We've beaten some big teams and all that kind of stuff, so I don't think we could have really done any better than what we have, which is fine. So what's our next game? We've got a game against PEC Zwolle in 3 days, and then another one against Roda 3 days after that, and another one against Heerenveen 3 days after that. So we've got a game every 3 days for 4 games. So I'm actually jump into our training, see if we need to schedule any extra rests. So we're just going to rest after every game, so actually can't schedule anything more unless we actually drop our match training back down again and actually take this as rest days. We may do that in a game or two after the first 1 or 2, depending on how our recovery and all that kind of stuff is going. Interesting. Cool. Awesome. So where are they sitting at the moment? They're sitting 8th. So doing fairly well, considering. Which is good for them. Encouraged by Mr. Richard Lee's development, which is good. He's doing quite well. Only 19 years old, obviously. He's going to be quite a decent player, so quite pleased about that. Cool. Riedewald no longer needs a rest. Hopefully Serrero will do the same thing in a day or two. Only resting him for a week, so that would be good. Young Ajax won their game. How are they going? Yeah, still 14th, not amazingly. The under-19's up to 3rd though, which is quite good. So they've actually haven't actually lost in 5 games, so they're doing quite well. Which is pleasing. Obviously starting to click a bit with them, which is good to see. A lot of talented youngsters out in our under-19 team, so I would have expected they would do relatively well, so it is good to see. Alrighty, I think what I may do, I may skip through this game against Zwolle and then jump ahead to the, I think it was a Heerenveen game, wasn't it? Anyway, jump ahead sort of a game or 2 and we'll sort of pick it up there just so we get through a bit more of the game. And you guys aren't watching 1,000 episodes, so I'll be back soon, guys. Hey everyone, and we're back. So it's game day against Real Madrid. Actually, no, a couple of days. So we actually had 2 wins and a draw against our last 3 Eredivisie games. Had a good 3-0 win against PEC Zwolle, and a 1-1 draw against Roda, and then a 4-1 win over Heerenveen. So some good wins there. We're still sitting top of the Eredivisie table. Sitting top by 6 points now, and we're sort of all caught up in terms of games, so that is good. We've got a little bit of a buffer at the top. We've definitely got the best goal difference and all that kind of stuff, so that is good. Probably the only thing interesting that really happened is Kenny T, there's a bit of talk about Braga in Portugal putting an offer in for him, and he's actually asked, he basically wants to leave if they put an offer in for him. I went with this stock standard thing of saying that I'd let him go if they come in with a reasonable offer. It does give you a little bit of room to sort of maneuver if they actually don't make a decent enough offer. Sometimes they'll still kick up a fuss, but I've found that it's the best way to approach these things. A lot of the other time, and asking them to stay, or offering them more money or things like that usually can backfire. Can be a lot, very unpredictable in terms of how they actually react. So we're going to do that. Just scout a couple of South American players here. I'm not going to buy them, but just for interest sake. So Fernando Gago, who everyone would be well aware of, and Belanto as well, who everyone will be well aware of. So just out of interest sake, they actually are quite cheap, which is interesting. So not going to do them though. We're going to stick to our Dutch and Scandinavian, thing, our home rule that or house rule I should say, not home rule, house rule that we've implemented. Cool. Rightio, so it's almost game day against Real Madrid. So it's going to be a massive, massive day. Hasn't held back in talking about you. Do you think you might have the edge? Dum, dum, dum. So everything he says, we just take it with a pinch of salt. So it is Benitez. He's a bit of a nut job, so not really too fussed about what he says. Oh, dearie me. Alright, so everything rides in this game. If we get a draw, I suppose we need to win. We need to win to guarantee that we'll go through. We're not going to get it. I would highly doubt that we're going to get it. But, we'll obviously do our best. So we'll see how we go. Oh, dearie me. So what team have they put out? So Bale, Ronaldo, Benzema. Oh, they're 14's back. Oh, dearie me. Ramos, Varane. Oh, okay, right, yeah. They're not really missing too many. Missing Modric. That's pretty much it, actually. Right, guys, we are going to set up our team. Sillison's going to start. Kenny T is going to be on the right back. Boyliston's going to be on the left back. Veltman and Heitinger are going to be our two centre backs. Manu G rested him last game. He's going to be playing at defensive mid. Klaassen was rested last game. He's going to be playing at attacking mid. Serrero was rested last game. He's going to be playing the box-to-box role. Fisher was rested. It's going to be playing attacking mid for the left. Shoney's going to be playing. He's a little bit down on conditioning, but that's okay. We can replace him if we need to. Milik was rested, so he'll be our striker. So pretty much our strongest team here, which is good. So I think most of our subs are okay. So we've got Van Rijn, Dykes there, if we can want to bring them in. I think probably Van Rijn for Barzaware there, given he's only 88%. And Van Rijn's only 90%, so not a whole lot better, but it is a little bit better. Radio. This is actually, by the way, this conditioning. So obviously we played a game, 2-3 days ago. This is actually, I did actually jump into the training, actually give ourselves 2 rest days in between. So I actually had rest days, Sunday and Monday were both rest days, had no training whatsoever. And it still actually hasn't lifted the conditioning up all that much, so definitely think the conditioning has been adjusted in this version. It seems to be a little bit harsher than what it was before. Jump into this and see how we go. So we've seen the table as before, like we said. We are ahead on goal difference just, so if Wolfsburg win, we'll be fine. I highly doubt they're going to win by more than 5 goals, so we should be fine. It's Dynamo Kiev beating Wolfsburg. Luckily, it is a Wolfsburg home game, so we're going to keep an eye on the score throughout the match, and we'll see how we go. Doesn't come into a game such as this on the back of facing opponents like SC Heerenveen make your job easier. Take each game as it comes. Usually a bit easier just to go with a sort of a stock standard one there. Oh, dearie me. We're not going to go for any advice at the moment. I don't think it's really worth it against Madrid. I think we may get ourselves into a little bit of trouble. I think we're going to stick to a sort of our defensive solidity, and don't want anyone sort of getting put out of position or anything like that unnecessarily. Going to go for this approach, which seems to work quite well. Alrighty guys, I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back with some news. I'll probably do come back at halftime, tell you how the Wolfsburg game is going, tell you how we're going, all that kind of stuff. So, see you all soon. Oh, I just had to show you this, guys. First minute of the game, Dynamo Kiev go ahead. First minute they go ahead. Oh my god. Alright, so if they win, we need to win. Basically, we have to win this one in order to get through. So as you can see there, we actually dropped down to 3rd. So anyway, guys, I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back soon. Hey everyone, and half-time, it's still 0-0, and we actually restricted Madrid to 1 shot on target for the entire match, so we're actually doing really well. We are winning possession, I think it's around about 58%. As we'll jump into the stats actually quickly. So as we can see there, Madrid have had 1 shot on target, we've had 3, and we're 57% possession, so we're doing really quite well. So very, very pleased with how the game is going at the moment. We're really sort of stifling them. They're not matchy. We're keeping our shape really well, so very, very pleased with that. Glad I didn't implement any opposition instructions, and we're sort of keeping our shape, not pressing them too much, and they can't really find a way through. As evidenced by this long shots stat here, they've actually had 4 long shots. Out of 6 shots, they've actually had 4 of them have been long, which shows that they actually can't break us down, so they actually basically get resorting to long shots. From outside the box is basically their only option, so that is really, really happy to do that. all day. Some other good news is that Wolfsburg actually equalised, so it's 1-1. We are back up to second, so if it stays that way, we are through. So even if we lose this game, if it's 1-1 draw, or a draw at all, we win, so we go through. So everything's going pretty well, guys. I think we're going to jump back into the game. I'm just going to do the team talk, actually. So actually, I'm going to tell these guys they're doing well. I'm just going to go with the passionate, happy with your performance so far, keep it up. And they look fairly happy with that. So I'm going to jump back into the game, guys, and I'll see you soon. Oh no, guys, heartbreak, absolute heartbreak, 2-0 loss, and Dynamo Kiev are going through. They had a 1-1 draw with Wolfsburg. I didn't realise, obviously, because 1-1 draw, they actually went ahead of us must have been a head-to-head result. So we had the same goal difference, and it must have been a head-to-head that actually went through. So, because they beat us, they went through. So, very, very disappointing. We did actually play really, we had some really good chances in this match. I'm going to show you the highlights in a minute, so I'm just going to do the team talk. I agree that actually that they couldn't have really done a whole lot better. It was just basically, did work out well, did it? Look to switch off. Anyway, that happens. Alrighty, post-match analysis. So, Wolfsburg, so here we are, 3. So we're actually down on goal difference anyways. Oh, that's devastating. Very, very frustrating to actually not go through based on that. So we actually had more wins than Dynamo Kiev. They only had 1 win, but they had 4 draws and we had 3 losses, so... dear me, that's not good. Anyway, life happens. I didn't really expect to do all that well in the Champions League the first season. We actually probably did better than I thought we would. Pick up a couple of wins, some good wins as well, especially against Real Madrid away. Couldn't really have done a whole lot better. I'm going to just show you the key highlights here. Just turn off the sounds here, so I'm not sure how long this is going to go for. Hopefully not too long. Why on earth did it jump all the way through there? Anyway, this is the first goal. So as we can see here, Bale picks up the ball. It was a wonderful strike by Bale. There's not a whole lot we could have done about it. Probably closed him down a little bit better. He wasn't tracked very well. So watch him here, actually scores the goal. So watch him here. So he's tracked in. So Yunus could have done a little bit better. Our defenders maybe not should have got sucked into the middle as much. Gets too much space there and just hammers it home. So very, very well taken goal. We probably could have, stuck to him a little bit more tightly, but it was a brilliant goal. The second goal was a penalty, so apparently it was a harsh penalty. Obviously, you can't really tell in terms of the actual game, the engine and stuff. You can't really tell. So anyway, like I said, it was probably a deserved defeat in the end. This is showing all the Real Madrid highlights. We had some really good ones of our own. We had some really good chances. I think we hit the woodwork. It must have been 2 or 3 times. Maybe this is one of them actually. That was a beautiful ball forward, and Yunus takes it down beautifully, brings it in, smashes it. Oh, look at that! So close, and Milik. Oh no! Look how close we were. Dear me. This one too was a decent chance, I think. From memory. Oh no, that wasn't one there. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to show you all of them. We were I guess they were just, on the end of the day, that was just that individual quality. I think we actually had the better possession. Actually had the more shots on target as well. I think we were the better team. It's just that individual quality. So hopefully in a season or 2, if we could build our players up, maybe do some clever recruitment, if we can hold on to our guys, which is always the biggest thing. With playing an Ajax save, you actually hold on to your players. We could eventually, we actually could do really well. So, anyway, Victor Fischer's out to 5 to 6 months. Damn it, he got a broken leg. That is a massive blow. So, that's talk about rubbing salt into the wound. We get knocked out on goal difference, and then we get one of our better players, one of our best performing players actually, really. Goes out for 5 to 6 months. Damn, that's going to hurt his development a little bit too, but yeah, for so long. Oh no, that was a terrible game. Anyway, we're going to tell him not to worry, and I'm going to actually tell him his place is secure once he gets back. There we go. Hopefully that makes him feel a bit better. I don't think it really makes much difference. Maybe probably it makes him just like me a little bit better, but anyway. Will you think twice? No. I'm just going to say, I'm going with the neutral one. I'm not going to get sucked into all that rubbish. Alrighty, what's our next game? We have to pick ourselves up after that. Lose Victor Fischer for 6 months is devastating. So he's probably not really going to play for the rest of the season. He's actually not playing for the rest of the season because he only got well, I suppose it's December now. He could come back really late into the season. The end of the season is in May. So he could come back very late, but he's probably really not going to get a whole lot of games before the end of the season, which is really upsetting. Anyway, we've got our next game in 4 days. I think what I'm going to do, guys, obviously running at 34.5 minutes of the episode, I think I'll probably end the episode here. We'll jump back into it next game, probably start pumping through the games a little bit more. So I think what we'll actually do, we'll probably actually jump through to the winter break. So if you see here, we've got this game in 14 days, and then we don't have one after that for another 39 days. So in case you don't know, the Dutch League actually has a winter break, so they actually obviously don't play for a while. So we set up a few friendlies and may sort of jump through all that time fairly quickly. So hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hope you enjoyed this series. Let me know your thoughts, comments, suggestions, all that kind of stuff would be good. And as always, it would be amazing if you could subscribe to the channel and like the video if you haven't done so already. That would be enormously appreciated. Alrighty guys, I'll see you all soon for the next episode.